trying to get.
All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You already know what time it is. And right here, right now, we are actually live with a phenomenal band. We got Small Town Syndrome right here live on the radio and, of course, YouTube. How are you boys doing this evening?
We are good. How are you guys?
I'm doing best I can possibly be, man. Just dealing with that Canadian weather, man. Snow, freezing rain. I wish it would all just screw off. I miss the beach, man. That's what I really miss. I miss the freaking beach.
Yeah, I hear you on that, man. We're Minnesota, so we're not that far below you guys. So we feel your pain, man.
Hey, man. So I obviously this is an interview about your guys' careers and whatnot, but I gotta ask, how's the weather out there in Minnesota, man? Hopefully you guys are getting some sort of sun in between the snowy weather.
No, it's actually been pretty warm, all things considered, for January.
30-ish. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No.
Wait a second. You guys are Celsius, right? So we're Fahrenheit. What's that?
Oh, I don't. All that I know is
metric.
all that I do know when it comes. Our normal weather is like in between -10, -20 here in Ontario. So she's a tidbit nipply.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
It's about to get that way here too, though.
But also for the individuals that do not know Small Town Syndrome, man, like I was wondering if you can actually introduce yourselves individually and just tell us a bit more about yourselves as individual members of the group.
Well, I'm Brian, vocals and guitar.
I'm Adam. I do drums.
I'm John. I play bass and also do vocals.
And I got to say, first and foremost, you guys are such a phenomenal group, man. Like, you guys have everything you need to have in a group, man. Your guys' chemistry is phenomenal when you listen to your guys' music.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
But also, I have to ask, man, what is the story behind Small Town Syndrome? Like, what made you three guys come together to form this phenomenal group?
Well, we were doing another radio interview, and we were like, you know what? We don't really have a very good story. We need something. So, what, you came up with like a truck stop?
Yeah, a truck stop glory hole is where we met. I don't know. We really just connected there in many ways. Got to know each other inside and out, you could say.
But the real story is Adam and I kind of started jamming back in like 2017, 18, just kind of, guitar, drums, and playing cover songs. And John came on board a year later or so. And really, we just kind of started out as a cover band, playing some bars around town, that kind of thing. Next thing we know, we're in a studio recording an album, traveling around the country, and now we're talking to you guys. So it's been a short ride, but a very fun one.
I got to say, I'm definitely glad to hear the glory hole situation isn't actually true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a really different kind of way of bonding as a group. That's all I gotta say.
It's true. Yes, it was a good way to meet. A real nice meet cute, you could say.
But also as well, guys, because obviously you mentioned a few moments ago how you guys are doing cover songs. What bands or artists were you guys covering during those times?
Blink, Green Day, little Social Distortion, Good Charlotte.
I think we kind of did about everything, really. I mean, we even threw in classic stuff. Joan Jett even.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we were actually not too long ago. We were kind of going through our covers, thinking trying to remember back just like 3 or 4 years ago what we were playing and how to play it, and we lost a lot of that. So we still throw some covers though, the fun stuff. And I always tell people, probably if you have to ask 3 of us, Blink 182. I mean, that's really, in fact, we to this day, that really was the first song Adam and I learned how to play together, was Small Things. And to this day, we sound checked all the Small Things by Blink 182. So we throw that stuff and can't help not do it, throw it into our live show. So, but pretty much every pop punk cover you can think of that was popular in the 90s, 2000s, we did it.
Yeah, and I heard as well, like Blink 182 songs are like super easy to actually learn and play as well, because it's the same riff almost throughout all the songs.
Yeah, it really is, and fun stuff. We wanted to do something that was not real deep and heavy, and fun and melodic at the same time, and I think it really goes across a pretty wide genre. Or for that genre, a pretty wide demographic of people. So,
And before we move off the topic of the covers, the one thing I got to ask is obviously you guys just mentioned a whole bunch of different amazing bands you guys used to cover. It's like, was there ever like that one band or song that you guys did live that really resonated with the fans, that really made them actually get off their asses and really like start mosh pitting or like just raving?
Well,
the main one is the cover
Yeah.
song that we recorded,
Yeah.
Blister in the Sun by Violent Femmes. Everyone, you start playing that, and all of a sudden it goes from no one in front of us to everyone and their grandma out there dancing. So
yeah, it really, you would think of Violent Femmes as, pop punk in any way. And we sort of managed to take that song and put our twist on it. But yeah, that's probably the one. And that's really why we made it the first single of our new album, that it really is the song that, resonates with everybody.
And also as well, on November 1st of 2019, you guys actually released the amazing 7-track EP titled How This Ends. I was wondering if you can actually tell our viewers a bit more about this earlier released album. And of course, like, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of it today?
Well, all that, including that album, that was our very first album. And so Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere any digital platform you can find it. But yeah, that was really our first, we'd started kind of transitioning from the cover stuff to writing original music. And, we really just got to the point we thought, well, let's give this a whirl. Let's get in the studio and let's see what we can do. And that was really our first run at any of that, recording, writing our own stuff, recording it. So, it was very fun. Really quickly, we did it in like a couple of days, basically. And but it was a great start for us, a great beginning. And in fact, we were talking about this last night, that we look back on some of those songs like, wow, we'd like to do them again, knowing what we know now. But it was a great start for us, great starting point.
And you guys actually released that album like just right before that ridiculous pandemic we actually had going on. Like, obviously, how was the promotion of that album? Like, obviously, at the beginning of the pandemic, like, was it hard for you guys to really push that album once the pandemic hit? Because obviously, like, shows and almost everything came right to a halt.
It did. Yeah, we it's a good point. We had shows lined up. We were just so stoked. We were going to head to the Pacific Northwest. We had shows lined up, Seattle, Portland, West Coast. I mean, we had huge plans for 2020, and then COVID hit and pretty much wiped all that out. So it was really kind of a bad time to start a band, during that time. But we just had to wait it out, keep getting better, practiced, held some jams in my backyard actually during the summer of 2020, and just kept writing. And a lot of those songs that from that period ended up on our second album, actually.
And I also saw as well that you guys are actually currently signed to Jab Records. I was wondering if you can actually tell our viewers a bit more about that record deal. And of course, how did you actually get your albums actually like released by that particular label?
Well, it's actually our label. It's a good question. So it's our own label. Yeah. In fact, so the JAB, John, Adam, Brian. And that's if you look at our the little mascot thing that we have, our logo, look like a little stick pin kind of thing. A local tattoo artist here in our town actually came up with that design, and shout out to Troy. So we had early on, we had a kind of a contest, because we're like, well, the thing needs a name, right? So one of our fans came up with the idea of Jab, the stick pin, and using the first initial of all three of our names. So there you go, Jab. And then Jab Records was born. And we've always kind of wanted to stay the independent route, and do things our way, record music that we want to do. And so having our own record label was the way to go.
And what obviously is now that I just found out that this is actually your guys' label, do you guys have any plans to actually maybe like sign other punk rock bands, or do you just want to keep it solely just you guys?
No, I get asked that a lot, really, what we want to do. And I think maybe what we'd like to do is try to help other bands, because when you start out, you're just kind of fumbling around in the dark, trying to figure out what to do, how to get your stuff out there, and that kind of thing. And so at some point, yes, that's really what I am, just speaking for me, what I'd like to transition into is more of that. So absolutely.
And also as well, you guys actually released your sophomore album, second album, October 29th of 2021. That's the album where I actually discovered you guys as a band, titled It Only Gets Worse. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about that project. And of course, do you actually have any hard copies available of this particular project to be purchased today?
Yeah, that album, as I said, a lot of those songs came out of the COVID really 2021, and we just spent a lot of time just writing and experimenting with different sound and that kind of thing. And it was a really special project for us, that album. We had the fortune to be able to work with Pete Steinkoff, the guitarist for the Bouncing Souls. And Pete, we actually recorded most of that album at Pete, his studio, the Bouncing Souls studio in New Jersey. And which was really very cool. We actually got Pete to play on a couple of the tunes on that album. A lot of people don't realize that, but Pete Steinkoff of the Bouncing Souls plays on Insomnia and a song called Why on that album. But that really was kind of another step in our evolution, I guess, as a band. And it was just a blast. Obviously, to be able to work with Pete is a dream come true for us, but really our evolution, be able to take that next step. So, and then to answer your question about the vinyl, we've kind of kicked that around, and we probably will do some of that at some point. We get asked that a lot, where's the hard copies of everything? So, we'll do CDs up for people and that kind of thing if they ask, but at some point we probably will do some vinyl rather than just the digital stuff.
And also as well, man, I got to say, such a phenomenal project, man. I'm really looking forward to your guys' third album that you guys have coming out in 2023. And since we're kind of on the topic of that, obviously you guys can't release too much information pertaining to this project because it's still in the works. But what can our viewers and listeners of the radio station expect from this third project that you guys are going to be dropping this year?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be different. Just from there's the cover we put out, and then two others that we've worked mostly on so far in the studio, and each one of them is a whole different style than the other, and you can definitely tell our different inputs and hear our different styles kind of come together and mesh. I don't know. I think it's going to be really good. Some real solid stuff coming out.
I got to say, as a fan, I'm definitely excited. Definitely excited for this project.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We are too. I think again, we're just continuing to grow and evolve as a band, and I think these new songs, absolutely, and doing things a little different and new sounds, and I do. I think everybody that's going to hear this new music coming out is going to be. I think it'll be well received.
I think it's probably going to be a step up on the production side too.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best produced ones we've worked with
so
far for sure.
Yeah.
And the guy we're working with is super enthusiastic and really giving us a lot of good ideas and a lot of good work. So we appreciate that as well.
And also, a few moments on in the interview, we spoke about Blister in the Sun that actually dropped February 1st of this year. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about the story behind that cover song, because I got to say, that song is an absolute hit right now. It's tearing up radio airwaves all across America, Canada, even overseas. It's blowing the hell up.
Yeah, it is. And again, what we talked about was that of any of our songs, as soon as you start that opening, that riff, da 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 da, everybody knows that song, and we young, old, every demographic, and we thought, wow, we really need to do something with this, and ended up, we liked it so much we did the single. But actually it was John's idea. And I don't know, you came to band practice one night. We were just, this is kind of back when we were doing cover stuff, and threw it out there.
I listen to Blink a lot, and there's one of their songs where they say, we listen to the Violent Femmes or whatever. And I honestly didn't know who that was. I was like, I'm going to check it out. And I searched them up, and then the first song was Blister in the Sun. So I'm like, oh, play it. Like, hey, that sounds easy. Let's cover it. And then I'm kind of embarrassed because everyone knows everywhere we play, but I had no idea. I just kind of fell upon it. It was like, yeah, let's do it. So kind of lucked out, I guess.
I got to say, when we play it, when we first started playing it here on 99.9, I'm telling you, after it was done, I had people calling my radio station, being like, "Play that again." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll play it in a few minutes." Like we just played it. Like give it about like 10, 15, and then I played it again, and people kept calling. I'm like, Jesus, people love it, man. But you got to give the listeners what they want.
Yeah, well, that's it, right?
And that's the funny thing. That's it. The covers like got us like kind of shows like in a sense like around where we are, where we live. Like in order to get a show even somewhere close where we are, you got to know some covers. So it's like you do some covers and get people like just to get shows, just to get you ambition to play music. And yeah, and it's like we still when we play covers, like certain covers, like people go nuts. Like you said, people like to hear, you know, like you mix good covers that people can sing and dance to and whatever, mix them with your stuff, and it's a good combo, you know. Like
and also as well, guys, in the year 2002, you guys played in many different states, from Kansas to Texas to Tennessee. You guys were all over the place. So I was wondering if you can actually tell our viewers a bit more about these amazing dates and all these concerts you did in 2022. And of course, what do you currently have lined up for 2023?
Yeah, last year was a fun year. We decided to get some places that we hadn't, been to before. And one of those was Texas. And first time I think any of us had actually been to Texas. So from that standpoint, it was pretty cool just being able to, check out the scenery and a great state of Texas. And so, yeah, we did shows San Antonio and Amarillo, Dallas, and San Angelo. And yeah, a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, and met a lot of other fantastic bands that played with us at those venues as well. So just a whole lot of fun. And yeah, Wichita, Kansas, that was a fun show. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Kirby's. If you ever get to Wichita, Kansas, check out Kirby's, which we're going back there this year. So yeah, a lot of places we had fun at, and yeah, we hope to get around a lot of different places this year. We're kind of holding back on a few things yet for 2023, announcing stuff. So we got some festival stuff in the works, and kind of building things around that. So I think it's probably fair to say West Coast, East Coast, and probably the Southeast is what we're looking at this year.
And I got to say, it's only January 20th today, so obviously you guys got a lot of time to lock these dates in and get them announced, man. But it definitely is good to know that you guys actually got some amazing stuff in the works.
Yeah, and then, people let us know where you want us to come. We'll pack our shit and we'll be there. So let us know.
And also as well, I have to ask, so obviously you guys got this new album coming out in 2023. You got Blister in the Sun that's blowing up all over the radio, coast to coast. And of course, you got these shows that you're currently lining up. But other than all this amazing stuff going on for you guys, what is next for Small Town Syndrome in 2023? Like, is there anything we missed during tonight's broadcast that you still want to talk about or promote?
Well, I think that's it. We want to try to get out, do as much live stuff as we can. And we're going to do things a little different in 2023. Rather than just putting out an album, we're going to just basically release new music every month, every other month. And so pretty much something new coming, all the way through 2023 and into 24 from us. So, so just try to do something a little different as far as that stuff goes, but really just getting out and seeing everybody and having fun and making a big Small Town Syndrome party when we come to town.
And I have to ask, guys, your social media handles for the listener, for the viewers, sorry, that aren't following you guys. How can they go about following yourselves as a band, and of course individual members on all social media platforms? So like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all that, right? So
yeah, Small Town Syndrome is kind of just our thing across them all. I don't think any of us have like a real artist page or anything, just our personal stuff, but that's just under our names too.
And half of us don't have that half the time, so I don't know about that. So
no, we need a third.
Yeah, so part of us don't even have that other bullshit. So.
If you're looking for Adam, you'll find him on Grindr.
Tinder. No.
Just look for the luscious beard.
Yeah, right. Exactly. This is what we call the magic carpet.
It's kind of a gross name, but I mean, but yeah. No. Yeah, social media can get kind of weird sometimes.
I definitely agree, man. If I wasn't in the music industry and conversing with amazing artists like yourselves, I probably would be completely off the internet, man. It's just it's getting worse every year, man.
That's one thing actually that we found over the last, probably more so over the last year, and there's definitely some interesting people out in the world, and so so we kind of keep some of that stuff, a little quiet, but.
I definitely agree. At least with pre-internet, you didn't really know about the weird people unless they were in your city. But now it's like they just flock everywhere, man. They can be in the UK and just
yeah. You know what? That's it, man. Anybody can, STS. We're a fan of everybody. So if you like our music, we love you, and so it's all good.
But I got to say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for just giving not only myself, but the radio station airwaves a little bit of your time this Friday evening. It was such an honor to speak with all three of you guys and talk about everything you did within music so far. And of course, what you guys currently have coming up. It was such an honor, man. Hopefully down the line, we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, definitely have yourself a wonderful night. And of course, a kick-ass weekend as well.
You guys too. Thanks so much for everything you guys do too. Love you guys.
Hey, man. You are most certainly welcome. I just love punk rock, and if I can help put amazing groups like yourselves on a pedestal, then by God, that's what I'm going to do.
Hell yeah,
yeah. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you guys as well. Definitely have yourself a phenomenal night.
All right.
You too.